How's it going? It has been a while since I've posted a video, like a year, literally. In that year, not a whole lot has changed. You can see I got some more artwork and stuff. But what else has changed is I went to Packwood again. So, we gotta do a new haul. We gotta. It's just the rules. Um, Packwood was freaking great, as always. I love going there. Um, there wasn't a lot there specifically for me, like for my interests and my tastes. But it's always fun to go. It's always fun to go and walk around and see a bunch of garbage that people are selling and just kind of walk around and look and people watch. People watching is amazing at Packwood because everybody's there. And what did I get? I got some Xbox games. If you're interested in that, got, they're all already in my box. Got Quantum Break and Titanfall 2. Basic stuff. I haven't actually started playing them yet. I've been meaning to, but I don't want to wait for the downloads because they're gonna take forever. I got, I got some Xbox 360 games. I finally got Skyrim that isn't all scratched up because my original Xbox 360 that I got at Packwood. Remember that in the last Packwood video? I got an Xbox 360. It had Skyrim stuck in the disc in the thingy. Why can't I remember the name? The disk drive. It had Skyrim stuck behind the disk drive. So the disk was here and the disk drive was here, so it wouldn't close like when I opened it. So I had to take the whole thing apart and get the Skyrim disc out. So it was super scratched and it would only play like intermittently because it was so scratched, so it would cut out every couple seconds. So it was impossible to play pretty much. So I finally got a much better disc and the whole new Xbox 360 that does not have the red ring of death and actually works like a treat. So that's cool. The other Xbox 360 is in the trash because it's very broken and I cannot fix it. Anyway, what else did I get? I got some nunchucks. They'll go right here for a Wii. Cause we got a Wii much earlier. I got it at the Goodwill outlet, and it works. It came with everything, and I already had some Wiimotes, so we've been playing Wii games, but we've been very limited by not having nunchucks. So now we have nunchucks, and now we can play Wii games. So cool. But ignoring all that, did not find any iPods. iPod guy was there, but nothing really. Actually, that's a lie. I did find iPods. See, because actually, we went to Packwood at the end of that summer as well. So I'm basically condensing two Packwood visits into one video. So my iPod case, yeah, I have a box for all my iPods. My iPod collection has grown immensely since the last time you've seen it. I have almost all of them now. I got a first gen shuffle, which is white. There we go. First gen shuffle, which I love the shuffles, specifically the first gen because it has the USB right there. That's sick. Um, Putting it back, and then I got a Zune. These are great. This was Microsoft's response to the iPod. It failed miserably, and it's a terrible device, but I love it. Look at how thick it is. Show you what it was competing against. Competing against the fifth gen. Right there, there's the Zune. Same capacity. Way thinner and way clearer screen because these screens, well, this one's way bigger, they had the same resolution. So it had the resolution of this screen that was this size on this screen. So, bruh. But it's cool because it has Transformers on it. I got it from the guy and it has the first Transformers movie on it. So that's epic. I am still a Transformers enjoyer, even though I don't make videos about it anymore. Still an avid collector. I went and saw Rise of Beasts. The new one just came out. Pretty awesome, actually. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a little, it was a little campy, but I'm not expecting, great writing from a movie about transforming robots. So I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. Uh, anyway, went to my Nerf guy. Always the Nerf guy there. He's great. We're buds, I guess. And I was looking, and I had done trades with him in the past, so the modulus long strike from my previous Packwood video, I traded for that with a bunch of my older ones that I wasn't really using anymore, like some were modified and all that. And so he had this one that he said his friend made, and it was pretty cool. Half dart, super small, clear plastic, like a worker style blaster. Pretty sick. And he was like $60, and I was like, okay. And so I paid the guy, excuse me. And then as I was walking away, he was like, you know anything about woozies? And I was like, yes. And so he goes in the back, he flips open this suitcase that he has, and he's got just a ton of 3D printed blasters that I never thought I'd ever get my hands on because it's like, whoa, I don't have a 3D printer. I can't afford a 3D printer. I'm unemployed. I can't afford a 3D printer. So I was like, okay, I'm never going to get my hands on any of these blasters. That's pretty sick. He's like, I'll trade you for that one if you want one of these. And I was like, yes. So I got I got a Woozy. It's so cool. I love it so much. It's so awesome. I don't have a battery that's small enough yet big enough. I don't have one that has enough charge yet will also fit in the battery door. But it's so cool. And it's funny because it actually has, see, I took it off. It has the selector switch because you can make Woozy select fire. It has a selector switch and it's printed to be a selector switch version to have select fire. But it isn't. There's no switch in there. It's just a standard full auto Woozy. So I'm going to make it select fire. I'm going to get the select fire kit because these, if you want one of these, like full built already, there's like $250. I got it for 60. Oh, I got it for 60. It's just, oh, it's wild. And the select fire kit's only like $40. So that's still like way cheaper than what it costs to actually own it. And I need mags. I don't actually have half-hour mags that fit into the Woozy. But yeah, it's awesome. I love the trigger pull action. I think it's great. And then the guy was like, "Tell you what, I don't like think I'm gonna sell any of these other ones. So if they're not sold by the end of the week or by the end of Packwood, I'll give you a deal on them, and you can come and you can take all of them." And I was like, "Okay." He was like, "Okay, 150 for the rest. 150 cheaper than one of these new. Like you can have them, the rest." And I got him. I got him. He didn't sell any of them, so went on a pilgrimage on a 2 hour road trip, go to his house, and I bought him. And then he was like, I'm actually kind of getting out of Nerf. Like I'm kind of stopping, like selling them. Trying to stop buying them too. So he went to his garage and he had bins of Nerf guns, and he was like, "Yeah, if you just want to pick through and take what you want, that's fine." So I did. I got a shit ton of stuff for. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear on YouTube. Anyway, got a ton of stuff for free on top of the 150 for the rest of these 3D printed blasters. So we're gonna go over all that stuff right now. I got the Woozy there. And the rest for 150 was a grass snake. This one's one of my favorites purely because I can actually run it just how it is. Because I have, like the Nexus Pro half dart mags, and those fit in here. Those actually work. And this is actually one of the more modular blasters I've ever seen. And I have a battery that fits and actually makes it rev, so that's nice. How to put the battery in. It's got this little 3D printed pin. Pops off the whole front end. It's got this little clip back here. Pop that off, and there's the battery, and there's the flywheels, and everything. It's very, it's loud, but you know it's 3D printed, so I'm not expecting great things. Not like that. I'm expecting great things because it's 3D printed, but I'm not expecting like, you know, fit and finish because it's 3D printed. And all these, if you want to see reviews on all these are actually on another channel. If you go to Xbox Games, that guy, these are his. Because my Nerf guy is friends with him. And he was like, hey, I don't need these anymore, so here you go. And so now he was selling them, and now I have them. So if you want to look at reviews for any of these orange and blue 3D printed blasters, yeah, go on down to Xbox Games because he's got reviews for all of them. You got the Grass Snake, probably one of my favorites. It's just semi-auto, but it's so simple and it's so well built. It's a little small in the hand, but once you put a mag in there, that covers all that, so that's fine. I love it. Got a Desert Pigeon Mark 7.1, and it's funny because it actually has the little tack box from a Mark 8 that doesn't fit, so that's pretty funny. This one was broken. The trigger was broken because how the trigger works is it's got this little apparatus that goes up and back, and that is the pusher. It was broken right here where it goes up like that. It was just snapped at that point. But I just glued it back together, and now it works. And this is honestly one of the cooler blasters I've ever seen. I love that it actually racks and has locking slide. You can see the micro flywheels in there. That's sick. I love all the little things on the side. I love the pigeon on the side. I think that's hilarious. The mag release is you press down on that, and it does have proprietary mags. I'm pretty sure it can take angled talons. But it has this proprietary 10 round, which is nice. It fits in there beautifully. There's absolutely no friction on that at all. It's lovely. And yeah, this single stage is a work of art. I love this thing. One thing is that I'm not sure how to get the battery in there, because you see there's the XT60 connector. The battery does not fit. So like, I don't know if you're supposed to take it apart to put the battery in. I did to fix the trigger, and then I put the battery in to make sure it worked electronically. And that's why these were so cheap, because he didn't have batteries for them, and so he couldn't tell if any of them worked, and he knew that some of them were broken. So that's why he sold them to me for so cheap. What else? What else? Also got a Lepus, which, oh, this thing is freaking sick. Again, I don't have a battery that can rev it up to like its full potential, and I don't have a mag that fits into it, because I'm pretty sure the Lepus and the Woozy both take the same mags. I make the Woozy Select Fire that differentiates both of these, because this one's also full auto and just way smaller. But yeah, it's so small that it's just the switches. There's no actual triggers. You just press the switches. And that's sick, I think. I think that's epic and badass. It needs a 3S to work at its like full potential, and I don't have a 3S that's small enough to fit, because like look at how tiny that is. So I need to get a lot of batteries. What else? What else? What else? I also got a Mamba, which it's okay. I'm kind of disappointed by it, because like it's proprietary. That's the problem. I saw that it was Rival, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I realized that it does not take actual Rival mags. It's proprietary. So that sucks. But it does have a flywheel cage in here that I'm very tempted to just take out and drop into something else that is more deserving, and that actually like fires Rival rounds from a standard mag. Because at the moment, like that doesn't fit anything, and it's such a pain. It's a pretty cool blaster though. I like that it's very Real Steel-esque. I like that it's got the hammer back here that is just printed right into the back. It doesn't do anything. And there's no like hammer action or anything like that. But I'm not really expecting that. Also, from the bargain bins, I got two Mega XL blasters that I forgot to bring up. They're downstairs. I got a rival, a worker hurricane. This thing's freaking sick. It's so smooth because it's molded. So it's made like actual like Nerf actually makes their blasters. It's made like that. And so it's so smooth. Like listen to that. Like compare that to the grass snake. These are super cheap on Out of Darts. They're like 25 bucks on Out of Darts, but I got it for free. So it's fine. It takes 6 full darts that go right in there. It's a really simple system because it's spring loaded. You see that? It's spring loaded, and it's just got a little like flag thing, a little arm back here that the darts just sit against, and that holds the indexing in place. Super simple system. You see, it just pushes it forward, and you can see actually that's where the switch is, right there. And his main problem with it was this switch back here, which was busted, or not busted, but it was pushed in. So I just took it apart, glued the switch in place, and then put it back together. And now the switch works an absolute treat. I don't have a battery for it because the battery it needs is freaking tiny because it's supposed to fit in that handle and it has that connector, which is not XT60, XT30, which is I think it's becoming the new standard for like smaller lipos. So I might have to switch some of my blasters around. But yeah, super sick. A little old, but it doesn't really matter because I think it's still really cool. It's not very pretty, but I don't care. It's awesome. What else do we got? Also got another Dart Zone Mark II with some 3D printed inserts. I say insert. It's another parts thing. You see there's no barrel in it either, and there's no aluminum part. So that's sad, but it still works just fine, and I could take out the internals and put them in something else because this thing is incredibly high powered. I just put the orange. This is off of my actual Mark II. It just doesn't stay on there, so it goes on here. So it still has an orange barrel. And that actually makes it easier to spin because it becomes more front heavy. Anyway, I got some 3D printed actual rival blasters. I got a Fate. I think that's what this is. I think this is a rival Fate. Not quite sure what this is for because it's just a longer version of the exact same barrel. The AR is taken out, and it's extremely comfortable. I love this handle design. I think it's just a treat how comfortable this thing is. And it's just hammerable. AR is removed, and it's got this 3D printed barrel on it. I don't know what it's for, but I saw it 3D printed, and I was like, yes. And since it was free, it's mine now. So, yeah. Also got another 3D printed rival creation. This is missing one of the handle things. You can see that's not original. That's not original. It is a 4-round inline half dart clip. It's okay. I didn't realize that's what it was. I just thought it was a cool barrel. So I was like, sick. A rival blaster that I really like the feel of. That has a cool 3D printed barrel. No. It's supposed to have a little insert that goes into the mag release that prevents darts from dropping into the actual rival system, because it is still just stock rival back here with no AR. But it doesn't have that, so a lot of times you'll be firing and a dart will get sucked back into the actual system and it won't work. It won't break, but like it'll get caught in there and then it just won't shoot it out again, so that sucks. But it's still pretty cool, and you know, I also got, this is really interesting, I got a Game Face Prime, which is awesome. It's got a kit in it that I'm pretty sure was not made for it, so it's busted, but I can get a new kit pretty easily that is actually made for it. But what's interesting is that there's the Game Face Prime, and then there's the CETA, and the CETA is exactly this, but not sold like in stores. Like the whole thing about the Game Face was that it was sold in stores. But what's interesting about this is that this has a Game Face Prime selection of internals, but then this front end is off of a CETA, because it's got the CETA barrel and the CETA priming handle, because the Game Face actually had a T-Rip style priming handle. But it's really cool because it's broken down. You just take out these rings and unscrew these, and then the whole front of the blaster just slides off. That's awesome. Super easy to change out the internals. They just never really caught on. I don't really know why. I think because Dart Zone came around and dropped the Dart Zone 1, and that just kind of overshadowed this completely. But it's really well made. It's a really nice blaster, and I really like it. It's just broken. So I need to fix this. But it's still cool, and I still like it. It's going to sit on my wall next to my Nexus once I get it fixed. And finally, last but not least, a Worker Dominator. Just a shell. Just a shell of a Worker Dominator that our guy did some little cosmetic work to. He just took off the grip. I think this is super cool. I really like how modular this is because you can just buy just the shell like this for like 50 bucks, and then you can just completely customize the internals however you want it. I think I'm gonna get a full auto kit, and I think I'm gonna hop it up because the cool thing about this is that I can fit one, two, three sets of flywheels just to railgun your darts. The only problem with it is that it doesn't have the actual magazine inserts. So you can't actually put a magazine in it, but that's fine because there's nothing else in it anyway. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make it. You can actually see it gets a little stuck. You can see that's the semi-auto pusher working. I think I'm gonna get a full auto kit for it because I think that'd be really cool to have full auto and a blaster base this small. And I realize you can get Strife full auto kits. Shut up. But yeah, it's got little holes where you can put, because the cool thing about the full auto kits for these is that they're tunable. So you got these two little spots right here. You can see them in the molding right there. They just drill out, and then you can put little turners, whatever they're called, little turners in there so you can adjust the speed of the flywheels and the speed of the pusher. That's really cool. So I'm going to do that. And again, that's only like 50 bucks, which would have been twice that if I had bought this shell new. So yeah, that was sick. All that for 150 bucks. Sure, a lot of it was a little broken, but a lot of it is a super easy fix and a very cheap fix. And that makes it all so worth it. Excuse me. This is quite a long video, but it's fine because I haven't posted in a year. Um, yeah, that's about it. I would do reviews if I had the batteries and the magazines for a lot of these, but if you want to see reviews for any of those 3D printed ones, go check out Xbox Games because he's got reviews for those exact blasters. Not, I don't mean, and to be clear, I don't mean just those blasters like he bought one and made one. Those are the ones that he made and printed himself and wired up himself. So if you want to see reviews on those exact blasters, go check out Xbox Games. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Welcome back. Should be saying that to me, but you know. So, see you later, I guess.